Yeah, I just love the slow orbs from the Sage, especially on the A side when there's so many narrow areas. Even that wall too is just gonna make this so difficult. Kayak on the top, already finding some early contact and an early plant, so now time is on Fnatic's side.
Yeah, a little body shot to Boostio. EU looking for the recon dart for the retake. Xander's making his way over, so this is all be about how you flood on through, and yeah, just high ground control for FNC. A little too strong for Fnatic. Xander fighting back. Isolation gets us to a 2v2.
Wait, this retake has potential from EU and Xander. But now, from Fnatic, from main, it's Boaster that peaks first. Alpha with the finish, and Fnatic with the pistol.
Clean, and you're already starting to see what the contact is going to look like for what 100 Thieves wants to do.
And Chronicle just spending all those credits to get that wall once again was a huge part of establishing Fnatic, but now 100 Thieves going to show a lot more presence.
Okay. And
it's Boostio, just a random headshot to shut down the lurk from Alpha. So Fnatic have to commit to this. You already got the cryo dash out, so this could be a window for Fnatic to engage in, but kind of waiting for this wall to expire. EU could be exposed, and Kayak has to be first contact. And the paranoia is spotted. Kayak vulnerable, but at least to safety.
And the other thing about 100 Thieves playing the Omen instead of the Gecko is that high ground control is going to be a little bit more free for Fnatic. You don't have the Dizzy to get that blind and push somebody off, so definitely expect to see Kayak continue to play up high like that. And so far, it's been a big benefit for them, but the early rotation for Boostio has been stalled with all this delayed action over at A. Also is able to trade back one, and we're going to get 3v2 with Boostio not working on the long pinch.
Now with the sniper 2 from Boaster, you got to kind of watch over everything happening, but not going to be as fun when you have to approach up close and personal. Now with the spike down, this looks pretty cooked, especially if Boostio could develop more of a flank, and he kind of jump peeks, I guess, so it just gets caught.
A nice shot from Boaster, also tags EU, so this defense started to become a little bit more flimsy, especially against an AR. But Austin has found a Vandal, makes good use of it, and with 15 seconds remaining, Boaster's going to run out of time here. He's got to go quick.
Everyone's pretty low, and this is going to be a much better gun to handle the job.
Good
but with
recon.
8 seconds left, and Boaster not going to be spotted quite yet. Now just the mind games would like to keep this weapon, but EU's going to peek him first, and Boaster just has to sneeze on him. But either way, 100 Thieves will take that one.
That's a brilliant round for 100 Thieves, and it really is kind of starts and not necessarily ends with the little 1v1 between the Killjoys, but Boostio finding that pick onto Alpha.
He's got to hold this down, and he's been an explosive player in the past, and even have a molly to slow things down against Fnatic, who are going to use some info util, especially from that Sova, to see what's up close. But Xander does get spotted from that dart, and he will be gone for good. At least that Sage going to seal things off to get a safe plant going for Fnatic.
Yeah, that's a really great offensive wall to get that recon dart backside yellow where no one could deny it. So really good stuff out of Fnatic now with the numbers. Should be good for a plant and a 5v2.
Especially with the Viper util in place, Fnatic have... It's just going to be another day at the office with how they're able to set things up on offense. 100 Thieves that almost have to be a bit more proactive, which I think Xander, that was what he was trying to do until the recon caught him.
No, he was able to find one. It gives him a chance to try to fight this off just a touch, but trying to re-clear yellow and then deeper, trying to get into green is not easy to do. There's the one-way smoke to try to give maybe an angle for 100 Thieves to work with on this post plant. Recon dart pushes him back for a moment. There's the follow-up, though, and an opportunity to put some pressure on towards the spike. Nano and a shock dart comes through. EU pushing up, shut down by Alpha, and it's all just down to Asuna, who's not going to have enough time to make this happen.
Good stabilization from Alpha, and 100 Thieves maybe had a chance when he took out Chronicles, so no res opportunity, who already has it. So great job from Fnatic to really waste a lot of time and get set up before 100 Thieves could kind of realize what was happening. With the Outlaw, it'll be awkward. Maybe you can trade that with someone, but you kind of want to see if Xander's around this yellow box area. Recon is still available from Crashies, and they're just going to go off a contact play, and they wipe 100 Thieves from B.
And honestly, if you're 100 Thieves, unless EU can find one to stop this plant or stop the exit, you're probably going to save here. You have no idea where Alpha is. EU's been pushed off the angle up top. Now, Asuna has found the pick through mid. You've got the operator for Cryo on the backside of the site, so maybe a chance here to break this down. Just comes down to can EU actually scout anything out with this Aldrone.
Possible now with the Resurrect, but time is certainly running out, so Fnatic just have to protect this for as long as they can. He did hear that teleport. Asuna, Paranoia, Crashy's playing around safety around the box and shooting through, and Kayak tries to assist. They'll have to trade now. 3 versus 2. It's all the cryo, and he won't be able to keep the op.
Yeah, that's tough scenes, and I get it because you get the opening pick from Asuna, so you're going to try to commit. You also have the op locking down that long angle to stop the shoulders through green.
delay here from 100 Thieves, but there's only so much Boostio can do, and he's one away from his own, and yeah, Kayak's like, yeah, someone's there, and that's kind of the jump that he's been doing quite a few times, and 100 Thieves haven't been able to punish it, whether they come through the back door or even from screens.
Now this is interesting because 100 Thieves playing off this long pinch are going to try to pull people over to Boostio's direction. Trade in the back line. Alpha still got the operator out. Needs to connect on the first and is able to. Can he get more than that? No. And now the focus has to go back over towards Boostio's direction. They need to set up this pinch. They need to get it quickly.
Yeah, 100 Thieves have been very flank heavy, and Alpha will call that out. And Fnatic can try to focus on this lurker. Boostio is removed, and Fnatic just take this one step at a time, and it's all up to EU, and the high and low too much for him to handle. And Fnatic continue to stomp through the 100 Thieves.
Yeah, not good. Now you're down to timeout. You're going to be on cryo knives in this next round of what is going to be a limited purchase.
Yeah, 100 Thieves also had a deep recon at A, so they're kind of pivoting towards mid, thinking, okay, we don't have eyes on kitchen, we don't know what's happening in mid, and we're expecting Fnatic to really change things up. And here is kitchen, Alpha already breaking that down. Boostio removed, and 100 Thieves are on the perimeter.
I mean, just look at what this has done. Like, you don't see any contact at A, so Cryo just doesn't want to sit on the backside of A. You know that there's going to be some pressure through mid, but he's in such a weird spot. And now you're going to, this is awesome. This is so well done by Fnatic. You pop a Viper's Pit on the middle of the map. It allows you free entry to B if you want it, but you're still lurking at A at the same time. You catch him on rotation. It's just chef's kiss right now from Fnatic. They could do no wrong. Cryo able to put a little bit of a linchpin under this rotation in and then follow up with a second, but he gets traded and it's going to be a 3v2.
Yeah, Fnatic with the fake was real cool, but that op, I think, dwindled down the forces of Fnatic, and 100 Thieves have to pull out a win here, and it's all up to Chronicle, and Cryo just did so much work. 100 Thieves really pulling this round together after investing their pit, having to go up against that. Chronicle above and couldn't finish off the second. What, 36 HP for Xander? He's nuts. Whether the spike planter or just get the high ground in general. So 100 Thieves are starting to get some punishes, but that's just one round, so don't want to build up too much hope yet. We'll see what Xander can do over at Yellow Box, kind of go for these solo plays. You want to make something happen for Crashies, pings you with a recon or something, and there is a double kill. Good swing, great timing.
He gets everything you could possibly want. A 1-for-2 exchange at front green is massive. Lockdown going to be called for the defense. Aldro, Nano Swarms, giving you the intention this is still going to be a plant, and Boaster will commit, but he was able to follow up the kill to make sure Yellow stays a bit more compromised. Boaster has to hold his ground on top of the site as he will be detained. Is there a rundown for the knife? Is there a rundown? Are they going to get there? The shock dart will do it.
Oh my god. Yeah, he just really wanted that kill when he could have gotten out of the lockdown, but hey, 100 Thieves, that was a huge lockdown, kind of an...
And Kayak will have knives if he feels like he needs it.
Get out of my way.
Which he says he does. Looking for an aggressive play over towards the orb, if we can catch that. Yep, here we go. Asuna in a little bit of trouble. Hunter's Fury to follow up. They get the connection, and then just a quick shot from Kayak with the knife to have first blood and the A site look very vulnerable as he's able to find more. EU with the shutdown, but a mere consolation prize as this will be a very vulnerable site.
Yeah, Fnatic just played that site so well. Just the same thing of getting Kayak on top of screens, playing really fast, and 100 Thieves trying to punish. I like that poke from EU too, from the back door, but now all the pieces are set from Fnatic. It's just impossible for Xander to do anything. So Fnatic, post-timeout, got back on their high horse.
And their high horses hit him and hit him hard. We got knives. Let's just dive on in, play through A orb. He only has a stinger, so... tough pretense here in terms of how you lock down this A site with just the two of them.
Yeah, Xander doesn't want to give up Yellow Box because as soon as you give up B, there's just no retaking against Fnatic. They've really struggled. So Xander's trying to get more help, and Boostio's playing a double up with him over there. But now you get to see the power of the Omen, and especially the Stinger with the paranoia just enabling himself. But Fnatic trade that out, and especially with the slow orbs and the Judge where the sun don't shine, Fnatic are going to have a strong half.
Yeah, 9-3 curse and A cope.
Yep.
Might have to be. EU hearing Boaster tip-tap away over at mid. Also has the barrel here onto Alpha. But no, only gets the one. So yeah, 9-3 is going to be the call here. And it's one of those things, you're in a best of one.
All depends kind of, they want to see that early presence from Fnatic and not be too overly aggressive. Not show their cards yet. But, oh, look at Kayak. He's so close, and he's caught by Xander, and not expecting 100 Thieves to just show themselves this late.
That'll work though. Just again, getting a read of the situation. We can kind of hear it from behind us. They're saying push, 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 get in there. Make sure he doesn't exit into sight behind this toxic screen. But 2v4, some damage hit right now on 100 Thieves.
Oh, Boaster didn't even get that kill. You got Busio down to 24 and just thought that 100 Thieves had left the site, but bad read, and it's just Alpha that has to put damage in. But hey, 100 Thieves cooked something special off the pistol. The kind of delayed approach made it look like they were going through B or mid.
We'll see what 100 Thieves can, try to muster, try to stretch out this Fnatic defense and try to keep the Sentinels a bit split.
Yeah, this could be a big comeback for 100 Thieves, and now just using this Viper wall to kind of creep up and get closer to where Boaster was. And the difference between Xander and Boaster is that Boaster is not going to be stubborn about holding that yellow box. He can just kind of play the distance battle. Now with this wall back up, 100 Thieves can go for a plant.
Yeah, and Alpha just spams from up top through the toxic screen. Painful stuff. Asuna scaling deep to Snowman, though, is big. This is a huge post-plant position. I mean, you can see Fnatic, they're still holding the backside of the site. They recognize that this is going to be an aggressive push-through, but Xander and Busio still collect, and Chronicle and Crashes are in some trouble, and they may just back off this.
Yeah, what a deep plant, too, from 100 Thieves, and now Fnatic are realizing kind of the dangers of giving up that yellow box. Is you're going to be having to retake from Snowman, and 100 Thieves are not even going to let you think of that, as they just kept pushing, and now this is the 100 Thieves offense we know and love.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was kind of hesitant to say without really seeing Asuna on this Omen before.
Has the ult if you just wanted to go towards A, I guess, but Fnatic, the more time you're taking 100 Thieves, the more that they're going to be taking the map, and you got a double flank, double walk up. It will be alerted by the turrets, so you'll get EU to turn around, and still that Hunter's Fury, which could have been used to maybe pressure Snowman and get a plant.
Yeah, but the thing about this is that Hunter's Fury is no longer a factor at yellow because of that long flank watch. So you have to play up for your 100 Thieves, and they're out trading the fight.
All right, the plant. It's good for now. We got a lockdown if you really want to buy more time, and it's just Kayak who would hopefully like to save the op, especially at 0 credit, so he'll get away.
Yeah, it's a really good idea for Fnatic in terms of how do you counteract that play through B. The snake bites do their job from Boaster. It stops the plant from happening for Asuna. The dark cover fades. He can't stay on site anymore. But knowing that you're playing against 100 Fury, Fnatic has to put pressure on green. They do a nice job at it, but 100 Thieves say, we're aware of what you're doing as well. Like, if you want to put two players over towards the backside of our B setup, we're going to just make you fight underneath tube. And that's where you see Fnatic really crumble. They weren't able to actually get back over towards the site themselves. So good stuff from 100 Thieves, and we're going to be back to within one here.
Is there a way that maybe like Boaster will want to change his Viper wall towards B? Because I feel like Xander's getting so much value out of that.
I don't think you can. I mean, this is just such a stock Viper wall on A. It helps you with that retake ability. Very stationary defense active in the face of 100 Thieves. Again, kind of forcing the issue early.
Not to curse it, but 100 Thieves haven't dropped an offensive round yet, and they're about to walk into the sightlines of Kayak, and he won't whiff that one, and big old hug, but Boaster, wow, I thought he was going to get that for sure, so the odds are even, but that op is still close, and usually you would have Asuna who would use a paranoia and try to punish that, but Spike's going elsewhere.
Watch your lurk here from Xander. Fnatic are aware this could be a possibility. They see the cross from 100 Thieves back over to A, but I was going to say they don't know that Xander was here initially, but it doesn't make a difference. They're just going to stack up and play the 4v4. Again, looking at limited purchase here for Fnatic, but Kayak is the one who has the heavy weaponry and is in position. Just comes down to does he hit.
That's the thing, Kayak is locked in. Drone looking for him, and what a shot! But a punish from Xander is huge, and the KJ Util's making it so he just can't keep rolling it down. 2 versus 2 with the spike ready to plant.
Hunter's Fury.
Hunter's Fury to try and stop this, and even Chronicle doesn't even need that. A ping onto Asuna, and he said goodbye to him too. What a comeback from Fnatic. You know, I cursed it. I said 100 Thieves haven't dropped an offensive round.
And they did it into a round that they didn't have full purchase. So you really, really let the whole region down. No, that's just one of those moments where, again, there's a difference maker of Kayak hitting that first shot. It does look like there's going to be a follow-up. Cryo saves that initial play, but yeah, it is Kayak hitting 2 very critical shots, stopping the initial play at B and then doing the same thing over at A to let that Hunter's Fury sing a little bit more loudly. Kayak playing an aggressive angle onto 410. He's going to hear that alarm bot he placed, though. So, opportunity to try to catch someone off, and what a play from Kayak. First blood onto Asuna as a critical agent to take out of the hands of 100 Thieves.
The quick scope in front of 3 players, like our jaws are dropped. So are theirs. So Fnatic going back to just kind of hanging back again, letting 100 Thieves come to you and letting Kayak play for picks. And I wonder if 100 Thieves would just want to ditch this, but now you don't have any lurks activated, so you have to re-clear all of that space.
Yeah, and Alpha can just.
So 100 Thieves going back to what was more successful for them, using the Xander wall, and maybe even getting able to pressure Snowman, which would be great, but Boaster is going to pressure back. 100 Thieves looking to
good fight
land.
for fit.
Hunter's Fury.
Tags only once. Snakebite at the ready. Cryo is taking some chip damage, but it's going to commit for the plant. That's massive, and now you can, counteract with a Viper Spit of your own. Lockdown in play just to try to reinforce it from both sides. A Venn diagram over the B site.
So many ults invested. A big round for both teams. And that means just no vision for Kayak with this op. And now trying to get around to the yellow box. That's Fnatic's job. And now both pits are out of the picture. And it's just EU on the post plane. It starts with 1, 3 more to go. The recon.
The knives.
And 2 players detained. And the ping onto Kayak. And Crashies dances and weaves. And it's Fnatic with the win.
That was immensely tight, but 100 Thieves just not able to survive through that hodgepodge of.
So you got to have a recon or a drone, but it's the defense that pulls that Sova util out first.
They only see Boostio though. That doesn't tell you much if you're Fnatic. The problem is the walk down at 2 plus Kayak still on this angle. Cloud bursts himself back. Crashies follows up with a little bit of help, but Cryo was trying to get deep to try to at least counteract this, and he does. 2 for 2, 3v3 action. But here's that quick play from Alpha on the pinch.
Okay, grabbing that spike is good. I was worried Alpha was gonna get on the flank, and meanwhile you have kind of a really deep lurk from Xander all the way at B, and Boostio's gonna go join that. Such an important 1v1 for Boostio to win.
Yeah, and Xander will pretty much guarantee the round here. Rez Cryo says not so fast. Thank you for the free elim. Thank you for the orb. I'll be close to knives now. And he says, look what I found on the ground. Okay, so a very resourceful life from Cryo, as 100 Thieves will get to double digits. Unless Chronicle is able to find one isolated, but likely not going to happen here. And
try and walk up and cut out those rotations off. But 100 Thieves are also trying to be aware of the timings of our Fnatic going to be walking up in the early rounds and sort of what we're going to be seeing out of Fnatic. It's been really hard for 100 Thieves to read. Feels like they have to kind of adapt on the fly, and they're smart enough to do that.
And I think you just kind of stick to your guns. And yeah, another moment where Fnatic's going to try something a little bit cheeky. Alpha, wide peek, works out. Xander drops. Turret providing a bit of destruction, and Alpha will be traded. We go 4v4.
A walk down from Duke, and Fnatic wanted to cut off those rotations. Now they get ahead of the game with those picks, but 100 Thieves are...
Information to commit to this play. And you can see, yeah, Boostio is just playing the anti-air defense right now. Just don't let him jump back up to that backside screen. Aldrone out. Deleted very quickly. Boostio does get tagged. Slow orb to stop at any impeding possible plant. Nano to push off the angle, and Asuna will just take the vents, and the ropes rather, over and get the plant up top. This is going to be difficult for Fnatic to retake into, especially considering it's a Viper and Sage in the mix.
Crashy just has 1 shock bolt. You got Nade 2, and Fnatic starting to get smoked off. It's not going to be easy, so Crashies at least can clear 1 corner, but Fnatic just have to swing and use the power of friendship, and it's going to be who can continue the lead or even things up. Trade for trade. 100 Thieves are holding it down for as long as they can, and Kayak finally activates on the flank, a double kill, now dashing towards the spike. That is all, and Fnatic get up to match point.
Yeah, that's just another one of those moments that you like it from 100 Thieves initially, because you commit through, you get a read that Kayak was initially playing over towards the B side of the map, or more importantly, you just know he's not on A.
Always a player on Fnatic who has to step up and make miracles happen and to will a win into existence when it otherwise looks sometimes cooked. But got the ult from Asuna, and he's going to go for a plant in the middle of his own smoke. Okay. You got the walk down from 2 from Fnatic, kind of the same thing they did last round.
Yeah, this is messy, but the thing is, this is going to put a lot of pressure on 100 Thieves, just because you've got this snowball of a rotation coming through the middle of the map for Fnatic. Asuna maybe in position, but Boaster's seen it. And now you look to see if Boostio can help out at all. Good timing for Asuna here. Can he find more than just the first? Yes, he can, but the trade is out.
And it's just Kayak, no 100 Thieves have finally gotten together to get it up to 11.
The Viper can rotate back for Boaster, and those snake bites can help delay a little bit longer for these flanks to get into the action. So You know, for Fnatic, you've got them cornered, you've got them pinned. Now it just comes to can you hit the shots with the stingers.
Hey, Kayak was impactful on the flank before. With the stinger, it'll be kind of different, and Alpha holds it down on the front line. So 100 Thieves are kind of weak, and despite the Vandals, that should be just better. But you're not obscuring screens a whole lot, so you're going to have to play from the low ground. Kayak with the knives out. Okay, stinger not so good. Knives even better. But are these butter knives or what? The flank is okay.
EU has to win this fight. He just absolutely has to. That's your post-plant security, and he's able to win it. Xander also able to follow up onto the site, makes this a little bit more doable. Zasana's on an island, but the Hunter's Fury for EU is the win condition.
This is for the win, and it's all up to EU to save 100 Thieves, and you still have a Hunter's Fury, but Crashies is that first in a big win. Fnatic 13-11.
Wow, it was a great opening dart. It's just one of those things that if he's able to follow up with the second one,